Are you ready for the energy to get a little lighter, my friends? If so, I have good news. Hi, hello. If you don't know me, my name is Natasha, also known as Nurse Natasha. This is your tarot reading and energy reading for the full moon in Libra coming up on April 12th. This full moon is going to definitely be like a breath of fresh air after this very intense retrograde and eclipse season. So if you've been feeling the chaos, if you've been feeling like everything is just wilding out, you're not alone. If you can tell, I still sound kind of sick, and I didn't realize until I like sat down here and was like, all right, I'm gonna start filming, that you can see my cough drops still on my bed. I got very sick this week, and if that isn't the like pinnacle of the Mercury Venus retrograde, I don't know what is. But it's almost over, my friends, and all this energy, all this chaos, all the frustrations, all the things going wrong is going to start to get better, especially under this full moon in Libra. So again, if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. We are going to get into this. I'm going to tell you about the astrology that's happening with this full moon in Libra and all this eclipse and retrograde season. I'm so sorry if it sounds like I have a wheeze, but it's been rough. It's been rough. I'm just getting better. But yeah, we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to check in with the energy of the tarot as well to see what messages we need. This is for the collective. I set the intention that it finds who it needs to find. So congratulations if you made it here. You're part of the collective. Welcome. Yeah, let's get on into it. So if you couldn't tell, things have been a little intense lately. We have been in the throes of our retrograde and eclipse season. We had a blood moon lunar eclipse back in March, followed by a new moon solar eclipse. One was in Virgo, the other one was in Aries. We have had this massive energy shift. The nodes just shifted into Virgo and Pisces, and then we're getting the last little bit of the eclipses on the Aries Libra axis. So that's it was a huge old cycle closing and a new cycle opening. Eclipses are just portals, and one was closing and one was opening. And then on top of that, so this is for the past couple of months, especially March. You saw all the astrologers on TikTok probably warning you that the March astrology was crazy, and then you didn't believe it until it happened. Am I right? So March was just like, ugh. And then we had that new moon solar eclipse in Aries, which was again kind of like the portal opening. And on top of all that, we have also been in retrograde season. So we have been in both a Mercury and a Venus retrograde, wavering between Aries and Pisces. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot. 2025, the astrology is definitely interesting. Every single planet will go into retrograde in 2025. So it is kind of an intense year. I think the last time we had a year like that, don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure it was 2020 when we just had everything go into retrograde, which we all know how 2020 went. But I'm not here to fearmonger astrology. I'm here to explain astrology to you in a way that seems more accessible, make it more understandable, because I truly believe that astrology is just energy we can work with. It's a tool that we can use to just kind of help ourselves and better ourselves, and just kind of understand what's going on. So again, on the day that I'm filming this, April 7th, Mercury goes direct. So that means Mercury retrograde is over. Now, this doesn't account for the shadow period. There's always a shadow period that lasts 2 to 3 weeks where the energy just kind of lingers a little bit, but it does get lighter over time. And then under this full moon in Libra on April 12th, Venus goes direct. So we've been in a Venus retrograde also. So the Venus retrograde ends with this full moon in Libra, which is going to be a huge shift in energy because Venus rules Libra. So we have the full moon in Libra combined with Venus going direct, and I really think this full moon in Libra is just going to feel like this breath of fresh air. I'm hoping I'll be able to breathe again. Libra's an air sign. One can only hope. Libra actually rules our heart chakra in the body. Libra rules the kidney and the bladder and kind of those lower organs. But Libra rules the heart. Libra in the tarot rules justice. And the reason why Libra rules our heart chakra is because it is our balancing chakra. And we know that Libra is the scales. Our heart chakra is the chakra that balances the upper and the lower chakras. So that's why Libra rules the heart. And I feel like we're just going to feel this kind of massive relief in our heart space. The way I kind of described it on Instagram and TikTok was this retrograde season, this eclipse season really felt like we took in this huge inhale, and we've just been holding it in, watching all this crazy stuff happen, the frustrations of the retrogrades. Again, maybe major life changes. That's what happens during eclipses. We have huge fated events and transformations and things that we can't control happen. And we've just kind of been holding our breath this whole time. This full moon in Libra is going to feel like the exhale. It's going to feel like the collective sigh of relief that retrograde and eclipse season is coming to an end. And also, if we just look at this full moon, it's known as the pink moon. It's not going to appear pink in the sky. That's just the name that it has. It's a very kind of soft energy. Libra is this very soft Venusian energy, you know, and again, Venus retrograde is ending. Venus is our planet of love, beauty, and attraction. And it's just this like softer, a little bit decadent, you know, but very lovey-dovey kind of energy. So also I do think that this is going to bring clarity to a lot of the things that happened during the retrograde and eclipse season. Like if things started to come up, look, we all got by this retrograde season, like with the combo, the Venus and Mercury retrograde in Aries and Pisces. It's giving delusion, it's giving exes coming back, it's giving relationships just in chaos. That's certainly where I felt it, where my friends felt it, you know, and chaos doesn't necessarily mean good or bad. Maybe you like came into a new relationship, maybe an ex came back, or maybe it's just kind of been all over the place. That's kind of the vibe. I generally don't get got by the retrogrades because I only have one ex, and like even I had my ex come back during that, and I was like, what is going on here? What is happening? Very weird, very odd. But hopefully you learned your lessons. You know, the whole point of these retrogrades is to have us revisit these things and learn our lessons and make sure that we learned the lesson. And that's why these things from the past come back. And this full moon in Libra is going to be like a clarity. It's going to kind of illuminate maybe why these things came back, or why we had to face these lessons, or why we had to face these frustrations again. And we're going to have like that aha moment of like, oh, that's why that was happening. It's all starting to, it's giving that cronk, like at first new groove, like, oh yeah, it's all coming together. Like we're going to kind of figure it out. And again, it's going to feel like a release. It's going to kind of feel like a breath of fresh air. Full moons in general are about releasing. Again, this is our first full moon post eclipse season. So it's just going to be a very like, oh, okay, it's over. We have clarity. You know, full moons also illuminate things. You know, I think that this is going to be a pretty positive lunation. This will be a great time to do cord cutting rituals, to 100% release the past, especially anything that came up during the retrogrades. Also, I would say it's probably a good time to do love spells just because of the Libra energy. Again, that heart energy, this kind of lovey-dovey Libra energy, especially now that Venus retrograde's over. So let's see, what else did I want to say? Yeah, and then we have after this, like I said, Mercury goes direct in Pisces today, the day that I'm filming this, April 7th. Venus goes direct in Pisces under the full moon in Libra. So then we have Venus in Pisces too. I'm a Pisces Venus. Pisces Venus is like the most romantical, delusional Venus sign. Like we love and we love hard. So maybe time to work on the self-love too. After that, we have Mercury moving back into Aries on April 15th. Mars is moving into Leo. So after Mars being in Cancer, which also caused a kind of tense energy, finally going to move into Leo. And then Taurus season and a lot of other things happen. But if you want to know about all of that, I know I've been rambling for a hot minute now, but there's just a lot of things happening. I put out full free tarot readings and yoga classes for every new moon and full moon here on my channel. So I'll be here to explain it all to you. That being said, let's get into the tarot of it all. I've already shuffled this deck. We're going to use the horror tarot because I was trying to find, I have a deck that is literally called the Goddess of Love Tarot. It's very Libra. It is all themed around Venus and I cannot find it for the life of me. So I was like, what's my second most like romantic deck? And to me, that's the horror tarot because it's horror. And if you couldn't tell, I love horror. And it is also very romantic. And if one of the romantic kind of cards comes up, of course, I will show you. But we're going to get into it. We already have the Four of Pentacles lurking at the bottom of the deck. Very keeping it close to the belt, which is kind of, I think, what we've been doing, hopefully. Excuse me, through this Venus and Mercury retrograde, is we've been kind of keeping our coins close to the belt. That's kind of what the Four of Pentacles usually, traditionally, it's like a guy like holding all of his coins in, not taking risks because it's been retrograde and eclipse season. So if you did that, congratulations, good job. Things are going to start to become lighter. What do we need to know? Yeah, just so you all know, I do host witchcraft and wellness retreats here in Salem, Massachusetts. I do live in Salem. And due to popular overwhelming demand, I am completely sold out for 2025 and 26. However, because people would not stop begging, I added another 2026 date. So if you would like to visit Salem, you'd like to visit with yours truly, I did open up another retreat for Summerween. So next summer, next July 2026. And spots are already selling. So I assume it'll probably be sold out by the end of the week. But if you'd like to snag a room, you can do so in the description box below. Now let's get into this reading. The Star. We love to see it, and I would also like to note that The Five of Cups at the bottom of the deck. If you've been here on my channel for a long time, you know the Five of Cups is our stalker card, and the Five of Cups is also Nosferatu. I'm literally wearing my Nosferatu locket. My whole room is like Nosferatu themed. Yeah, so that's nice. But we have the Star countering that Five of Cups energy. And again, the Five of Cups is at the bottom of the deck, and it is this feeling of grief. Five of Cups is a card of grief, of disappointment. Maybe we lost something during this Mercury retrograde, or maybe those themes have just been coming up a lot. You know, we've just been feeling this heaviness. And it could even be from previous past losses that we were just reminded of during this Mercury and Venus retrograde, during this eclipse season. But the thing about the Five of Cups is you can see he's focused on these cups that are spilt and not the cups that are upright. We need to focus on those cups that are upright. We need to shift. It can be so easy to dwell in the grief and the depression and the disappointment. But it's almost as if these are kind of conflicting energies, because the Star is about the light at the end of the tunnel. This is about being caught in like the depression hole. But we can see perhaps the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe there has been a glimmer of hope in this eclipse, in this retrograde season, of something like that we have our eyes set on, that we're like, that's what I want. I've seen the fragments of it. I've seen the pieces of it. And I would say 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, the only time we see these little fragments of hope and this light is when we're truly aligned with what we're supposed to be doing, with our highest, favorite, most authentic self. That's what the Star is all about. The Star is a card of Aquarius. And Aquarius is all about being yourself. The Star is about following your North Star. That's what that light is. That's what that light at the end of the tunnel is. It's your North Star. So the more you follow that, the more you're going to be able to kind of pull yourself out of this grief hole. Excuse me, my throat is just still suffering from being sick. So sorry about that. I had to go grab a cough drop because I'm still in the struggle bus. So we're following our truest, most authentic self. I'm going to sound a little weird talking because I have a cough drop in my mouth. But, you know, we got to focus on what's meant for us instead of what's not meant for us. Because obviously if we lost it and we're grieving it, it wasn't meant for us. And that sucks. It sucks. That's part of the grief, right? Is to be like, this wasn't meant for me. And it's almost as if we're grieving that something we never had, you know? I don't know if that resonates with anybody. Who is this coming out? The Wheel of Fortune. But cycles are ending, new cycles are beginning. A breath of fresh air, a new cycle starting, a change in fortune, a change in the wind. I don't know why I'm thinking of, maybe it's because I just watched Pirates of the Caribbean again. And Curse of the Black Pearl, when Jack Sparrow and Gibbs are talking about Will Turner, and I think Gibbs says like, leverage says you, I feel that a change in the wind says I, and it's like, that's kind of what the Wheel of Fortune feels like to me, and what this full moon in Libra feels like to me is a change in the winds. The energy is shifting. The energy is shifting, and we might not be able to see it outright and see the changes like really directly happening, but we can feel it. I don't know about y'all, but I know I can for sure feel it. Ace of Cups. Yeah. It's time to fill your cup. Very kind of Libra Pisces energy. Again, we have Venus in Pisces. You know, it's like a vampire goblet in this deck, which is why I love this deck. Ace of Cups. Fill your own cup. Let others fill your cup. The Ace, start of something new. Cups, emotions, love. Could be a new romance coming in under this full moon in Libra. That would be very fated, I would say, to start a new romance under the full moon in Libra when Venus is going direct, right? But even if that doesn't happen, it's about romanticizing your life, romanticizing what you have, the things around you, and filling your own cup through that. Definitely very full moon in Libra and Pisces and Venus energy. And we have the King of Cups and the Two of Cups. See, this is where I said this deck is romantic, because like, look at that. It's Dracula and his wife, okay? And Two of Cups, baby card to the lovers. Look at how they're just snuggling. You know, there's those cups full of blood. This is how, me and who? Hello? Me and, if you're a vampire, please inquire within. I'm actually going to be a full-time vampire soon. Tomorrow, the day after filming this, the reason I'm filming it early, even though I'm still sick, you know, I'm getting over my sickness, but I still have this like cough, is because I'm going home tomorrow to see my family. So, you know, but we have the King of Cups and the Two of Cups. I don't know where I was going. I'm like totally lost, y'all. I'm still like just completely in the ether after this huge energy shift, and being sick, I'm like, who am I? I'm trying to get all this done before I leave. But we have the two, oh, I know where I was going with this. I totally lost my train of thought. You guys can tell my energy is totally off. I'm getting my fangs. That's why I'm traveling to Las Vegas, is I'm getting my fangs. So I'm going to be a vampire when I come back. The next time you see me, I'm going to have my permanent fangs. So if you're looking to be a vampire with me, hit me up. But we have the Two of Cups and the King of Cups. Again, fun, flirty, very lovey-dovey vibes, very romantic, very just emotional. Lots of emotions coming up. I do think this is going to be a very emotional full moon as well. I think that Libra energy, I would say, and I only say this because my mom's a Libra, I would say Libra is probably the most emotional of the air signs. Again, ruled by Venus, they love love. And I think that's the energy that we should be embodying. But the King of Cups reminds us about emotional maturity and emotional stability. We can perhaps get swept up in new love and the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups, but the King of Cups is here to remind us to stay stable, to not get swept up in that. What else do we need to know? Eight of Pentacles, yeah, exactly. Do not get too swept up in the romanticism of it all. We still need to focus on the Eight of Pentacles, the hard work, because, you know, these are all really great cards. The Star, the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups, the King of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, all really lovely cards. But if we have our eyes on the prize, we have our eyes on a goal, we can get swept up in the romanticism and the lovey-doveyness of it all. That's all great, but the Eight of Pentacles is here to remind us to stay grounded, to stay focused. I'm hearing like stay focused on the end goal, perhaps. Eyes on the prize is what keeps coming up. All right, we're going to clarify with another deck. This is the Ethereal Visions Tarot. I just saw the Star as I was shuffling. I like split the deck and there's the Wheel of Fortune again. Repeating cards, or the universe being like, I said what I said. All right. What else do we need to know? Under this full moon in Libra. I'm so sorry my energy is off, y'all. It's just been chaotic, you know, and of course, it's Mercury retrograde. Like, of course there's going to be chaos and Venus retrograde and eclipse season. But I'm finally coming out of this fog and everything is like, ugh, I have so much to get done before I travel tomorrow. Two of Pentacles, definitely feeling a little bit unbalanced, perhaps. Nine of Swords. I saw the Nine of Swords lingering at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, the last time. There's the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the other deck. Nine of Swords is here again. We stressing. I love how this came out just as I was being like, oh, I have so much to get done. Like, we're a little stressed, but it's okay. We can get through it. The Nine of Swords is a card of stress, anxiety, you know, nightmares. But the thing about the Nine of Swords is she's here in her bed. She has this blanket on her. That's actually a comfort blanket. That's kind of what it represents. We just got to get out of that. We got to get out of being stuck in our comforts. We got to get out of that kind of comfort zone, because that's probably why we're stressing, because we're like stuck in that like heavy, gross energy. Like, we got to get out of it. Three of Swords. Like, why do you want to stay stuck in that Three of Swords energy? There's definitely seems to be a bit of a delay here because of the heartbreak, because of the swords in our heart, that maybe that's why we are stuck. Because again, we see the Star, we see the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Cups. We see these like new beginnings on the horizon and this new energy. We maybe feel the new energy, but we're like, but I'm still, again, what did we start with? The Five of Cups. We're still in this heavy heart space. And it can be hard, obviously, you know, with what's happening in our world and what's happening in our country, to be stuck in this, you know, it's totally normal to be stuck in this heavy heart space, in this stress and anxiety, because we can't control all of that, you know? We're pretty done. I don't know about y'all. We're pretty burnt out. That's how I feel now. It's like, yeah, the energy is shifting in the astrology, but man, what was that? What was the eclipse and retrograde season has left us feeling very Ten of Swords. I don't know about y'all. That's why I feel so weird. It's like I'm coming out of this like, whoa. Whoa. I usually don't feel like too affected by this major astrology, but I done got this time, because a lot of the stuff was wavering in Pisces, and oh Lord, Seven of Wands are on the defensive. We're like trying, you know, we can't keep us down, can't hold us down, as Christina Aguilera says. We're fighting back, we're on the defensive. We might not be ready. You can see here he has like two different, or like a sock and a shoe on. And that signifies that he wasn't ready. Like, people started showing up to attack him. He wasn't ready, but he's fighting back regardless. And I feel like that's kind of, it's almost giving like fight or flight. We're in this mode of like, okay, like, and the Seven of Wands comes after a victory, the Six of Wands. So we're like, I've had a victory. Everything's chaotic. Retrograde and eclipse season, but I'm fighting back. I'm like, you know, I'm here, and like, we're doing this, even though I feel weird. We want to get unstuck. The Hanged Man. We're like tired of being stuck. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's why we're fighting. That's why we're kind of fighting back. King of Wands, absolutely. We're chasing our passions, our creativity, the things that we love, the things that we enjoy. King of Wands is a very entrepreneurial card. Being protected from risk. You can see that salamander at the bottom of the deck. But it's a very like powerful, fiery, again, fighting sort of energy, to fight to get out of this energy, to fight to get unstuck, you know, because let's be real. We are a little burnt out, Ten of Wands, and that's okay. The key to the Ten of Wands is he's about to reach his home. He has all these wands on his back that he's been carrying up a hill because he's trying to reach his home, and the 10 is the end of the cycle. And look, there's the home. There's the Four of Wands. Like, there's the prize right there. We can see it. Like, we can, you know, we might be carrying these heavy burdens and these heavy energies, but we're not stopping. We're still going. And we can see the rewards. The home, the structure, the family, the community, the celebration that is on the other side. That's why we keep going. That's why we keep doing it. And, you know, I love that for us. Let's just get a few quick themes from this oracle deck. Just main themes for this full moon. Divine Feminine, that's pretty much Libra. Venus energy, in a nutshell. You know, like I said, tap into that soft Venusian energy for sure under this full moon in Libra. Any other main themes? Major themes for this full moon in Libra. What did I say? What did I start this reading with? Like, we're going to feel relief. That's literally the card that's in the bottom of the deck, is relief. We're going to feel that breath of fresh air. I'm telling you. Past life. This card came up in our last reading too. In this deck, it's not about your past life that you have lived, like, you know, in another version of yourself. It's literally about things from your past coming back and reflecting on that past life, and, you know, kind of being like, I'm not there anymore. Maybe we're not the same person that we were before this retrograde and eclipse happened. Like, we can acknowledge that past version of ourselves, but we know that we're not that anymore. Get grounded. Get grounded, y'all. After this retrograde and eclipse season, go stick your feet in the dirt, go touch some grass, as they say, because what the heck was that? That is what I'm going to leave you with, because I am struggling. This cough is coming back so hard right now. But I hope you guys have a wonderful full moon in Libra. I hope you take care of yourselves. I hope the energy continues to get lighter for you. And here's hoping that I can film this yoga class, because I still have to do that, but I do this because I love it, and because I love my YouTube community. You guys are the most supportive community I have, and I miss y'all. When I'm sick, I'm like, ugh. But I hope you guys have a wonderful full moon in Libra. Again, if you'd like to come join me in Salem on a retreat, that July Summer Ween retreat for 2026 is up. I will be gone out of town for a bit, starting tomorrow for like 8 days. And when you see me again, I shall have my fangs. So I hope you guys have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time.